Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends video. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a Void Shard opening and opening 7 Ancient Shards to see if we can get some epic or legendary characters. Alright, so this is what we have so far. We have Kayle, our starter, level 50, Supreme Gallic. We got him by using code Supreme6. And we got Ugo. I got her from using my link in the description and my QR code that's in the bottom right of the screen. She's one of the best supports in the game. She has Revive for everybody. You'll get her after the tutorial if you're a new player. And using my QR code in the bottom right or link in the description, you can also get Elenarl at level 25. And she has been really amazing with all of her poison debuffs and HP Pern debuff. And then we got Flannan. We got from a Void Shard. He's been a really good tank. Then Kaiden we got from a Sacred Shard recently. He's a pretty cool tank. He has a Revive as well. And we got Shaman, Jaizo, and Durandal for our epic and legendaries. So let's see if we can get super lucky here and get some more epics or, you know, maybe a legendary. That would be really cool. So let's open our first Void Shard. Actually, let's start with the Ancient Shards. We'll do the Void Shard for last. So let's see here. What can we get? We got... Ooh, he looks kind of cool. Siegebreaker, a rare character. Let's see what he does. His attack, his reviews are a lot of 5s and a 4.8. Wait, what are his recommended artifacts? He likes offense and crit rate. So now let's see what he does. Attacks one enemy 2 times. And then Electrocute. Attacks one enemy has an 80% chance of placing a block active skills debuff for 1 turn if this attack is critical. And then his final ability, Heavenly Roar. Places a 30% increased crit rate buff on this champion for 2 turns, then attacks all enemies. That was a good move. Has a 50% chance of decreasing the turn meter by 30% if this attack is critical. Okay, that move is really, really good. So he can reduce everyone's turn meter if he crits, and he's most likely gonna crit. But he has a 50% chance of reducing the turn meter. So that's pretty good. He's pretty good. Not too bad, not too bad. Alrighty, our next Ancient Shard is... Let's summon it now. Looks cool. Headsman. It looks like he takes heads. Alright, let's check out the ratings. 4.9 campaign. And then overall he seems pretty good with a lot of 4s and 5s. His recommended artifacts are attack and crit. So he's got Public Execution. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 10% chance of placing a Fear debuff for 1 turn. Wait, what does Fear do? I've never seen the Fear debuff. Should be, what is it? Should be on the right. Wait, should it? I don't know. Where is Fear? Okay, we probably passed it. Let's try again. My bad. Any fears? The heck, where is it? Oh, there it is. There are 2 versions of this debuff, Fear and True Fear. When a champion with Fear debuff attempts to use a skill, there is a 50% chance that the skill will not activate, and the champion will lose their turn. Wait, that sounds so frustrating to have a Fear on your character. When a champion with True Fear debuff attempts to use a skill, there's a 50% chance that that skill will not activate, and the champion will lose their turn. The skill they attempted to use will go on cooldown. Okay, True Fear is busted. Alright, let's see. So that's what his basic attack does. So you want like accuracy on him too, probably, and like speed. The debuff chance goes up by 10% max ranks, would be 20%. And he attacks 2 times, so he has like 2 chances to apply that technically. Alright, his next ability, Headman's Due. Attacks all enemies, has a 30% chance of placing a 100% heal reduction debuff for 2 turns. 100? Okay, so that is very useful in the Spirit Keep. The Spirit Keep boss in the dungeons has like an insane heal, so I'll probably need to use this guy and level him up to get that healing reduction, because 100% is insane. And that's an AoE 100% heal reduction. Alright, his passive inflicts 15% more damage to targets under heal reduction debuffs. It's pretty good. It'll be hard to ascend him though. Alright, let's go to the next Ancient Shard. So you'll be good. Legendary. He's a dwarf guy. Lore keeper. So he's keeper of the lore. His reviews look a little underwhelming, a little bit under 4. So like he's probably just an average character. Let's see what his abilities do though. Attacks one enemy. 25% chance of placing a block. Active skills debuff for 1 turn. Stern punishment. Attacks one enemy has 40% chance of placing a stun debuff for 1 turn if the target is under any debuff. Forebear's Boon places a 15% continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns. That's really good. Also places a block debuff buff on the target ally for 1 turn if they have less than 100% HP. That's a good ability. His aura increases ally HP in all battles by 15%. Alrighty, not bad. Seems like an average support. I like his heal. His other abilities aren't that exciting though, compared to what I already have and what we could get. Alright, next Ancient Shard. Can be getting epic or legendary. Get 3 more chances. Technically 4. Ooh, he looks cool. He's got like a ghillie suit. He's a ghillie archer. Alright, he is his name is Shadowbow Turlak. Wait, he's a tank? He's a defensive character. Alright, his ratings look pretty good. Average of around like 4.6, 4.5. He likes defense and life. Let's see what his abilities do. Attacks one enemy. Has 40% chance of placing a 25% decreased attack debuff for 1 turn. That's pretty good. Damage based on defense. Attacks all enemies. Places a 15% increased speed buff on all allies for 2 turns. That is good. That can be a 3-turn cooldown later too. So he makes his team faster. And he can decrease the enemy's attack. And he has places a veil buff on all allies except this champion for 1 turn. Also places a shield buff on all allies for 2 turns equal to 20% of the champion's max HP. Okay, that is also really good. He has 2 really good abilities. IMO. Alrighty, so his next one, Camo Cover, decreases the damage received from skills by all allies on their Veil or Perfect Veil buffs by 5%. That was kind of good. Alright, 3 Ancient Shards left and then 1 Void Shard. The Void Shard for the finale. Let's open it. Courtier. He's an attack character. He looks pretty cool. He's a Battlelord. I like his aesthetic. His reviews look pretty good. Average of like 4.4 on everything. He likes offense, accuracy, and crit rate. So he probably has a crazy debuff if it's recommending accuracy. Attacks one enemy, has 25% chance of placing a freeze debuff for 1 turn. Attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit has a 30% chance of removing 1 random buff from the target. Attacks all enemies 2 times. 2 times. That's OP. Has a 33% chance of placing a 15% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. So he can slow the enemy team while attacking them twice. And does that mean he has like 2 chances to apply that? Damage based on attack. Attacks all enemies 2 times. Has 33% chance of placing a... Okay, so the speed debuff goes up. Is like doubled. Alright, that was pretty cool. I'd say that's a pretty good spell to decrease the enemy team's defense. Very good, very good. He's not bad. Alright, 2 more Ancient Shards to go. What do we get? Wait. Holy shit. We got a legendary. We got a legendary from a blue shard. Holy shit. Oh. He's a legendary attacker. Scored the half spawn. Oh my god. Oh my god. We actually got a legendary from an Ancient Shard, dude. Oh my god. Alright, let's stop freaking out and explain what he does. Let's look at his reviews. 203 reviews. 4.7. He's good versus Hydra, good in Faction Wars, good versus Spiders then. Not great, or like not amazing in Arena. 4.2 in campaigns. Minotaur's Labyrinth 4.3, Dragon's Lair 3.7, Ice Golem 3.3, Demon Lord 2.9, Chimera 2.9, Arena Defense 3.1, Void Key 4.1, 2.4 in Fire Knight's Castle, and so on. He's bad in these other ones. I'm guessing like they just like counter his affinity if they're like low ratings. He likes a lot of offense and crit rate and speed. Alright, let's see what his abilities do. Has a 50% chance of applying a debuff spread effect. Taking a hex debuff and placing it on all enemies. Okay, that's kind of crazy. If the target isn't under a hex debuff, we'll spread the one other random debuff instead. Wait, it can be a random debuff? Any debuff possible. Okay, that's really cool. That is really cool. And the debuff chance goes up by 10% max rank. And then Anathema Burst attacks one enemy. Before attacking, places a 50% increased attack buff on this champion for 2 turns. Repeats the attack on all enemies under a hex debuff. This attack will ignore shield buffs against targets under a hex debuff. Okay. That's pretty cool. So he can attack... Wait, repeats the attack on all enemies under a hex debuff. So anyone that's hexed, he can just attack. Alright, what does this spell do? Attacks all enemies. Before attacking, places a hex debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. Okay, so I can already tell you want to start with this, like open with this spell, and then use this one for another like AoE attack, depending if everyone got hex debuffed. So the damage inflicted by the skill increases by 20% for each hex debuff placed. Holy! Stacks up to 100%. That was crazy. Heals this champion by 20% of their max HP for each hex debuff resisted or blocked. Dude, that spell sounds insane. So these 2 spells together like are just crazy. Holy. Wait. Attacks one enemy? What the heck? We can like... Is regular attacks can like hex all enemies? Wait. 50% is applying a debuff spread effect, taking a hex debuff and placing it on all enemies. Wait, this character's crazy. So yeah, maybe we give him accuracy to like help him apply his debuff. Accuracy, crit rate, and speed, and like attack. And then this half spawn passive fills the champion's turn meter by 10% when attacking targets. If he attacks targets without a hex debuff, will ignore 15% of the target's defense when they are under a hex debuff. Dude, that's crazy. Holy, I think this guy is crazy. Okay, he sounds like he could do a crazy amount of damage and apply a lot of utility. So, wait, what does hex debuff exactly do? Where's hex? I kind of forgot what that did. Champions under hex debuffs take damage whenever their allies do. Oh, damage from hex debuffs ignores champion's defense. The original targets all take full damage. Champions under hex debuffs take 2% of AoE damage inflicted on their allies and 10% of single target damage inflicted on their allies. Holy, that's nutty. Champions under hex debuffs only take extra damage from direct attacks on their allies, not lasting effects like buffs or debuffs. For example, damage from poison, HP burn, bomb debuffs, reflect damage. Oh, okay, that'd be insane if that did that. Okay, we have our second... No, our... Is this our second legendary? This is my second or third. Wait, let me check. That's my secondary. Wait, no, I have three because it's Supreme Gallic and Eleanor. So, guys, that is my third legendary character. Let's freaking go. Holy. That's my first ever legendary from an ancient... From, like, any shard ever. Holy moly, dude. They got it from an ancient shard. That's so lucky. So, we got 2 more chances to get something crazy. What if we got another legendary? Imagine. Alright, let's open this ancient shard and then the void shard. What? I gotta get rid of... My bad, guys. I gotta get rid of some... some characters real quick. Do I have any... We gotta sacrifice some duplicates. This is what you do if you're full on space and don't want to spend 1,000,000 silver. So let's give this guy some XP. The Rondel. Wait, no. Let's give our new legendary some XP so that we can get some space for some new characters. Wait, it says I have 5 spots open, but it didn't let me use them to buy. I mean, to pull our shard. Anyways. Do we have any duplicates? I'm trying to collect one of each character, but I'll probably just get rid of all these common characters at some point if we don't need them. So that's a duplicate. They're a fuse character though, so maybe I keep them. Any duplicates that aren't fuse characters? You, Santa Claus looking dude. And then let's get rid of you. You're not a fuse character. Alright, that should be enough to open our last 2 shards, right? Scored is level 4 now. Let's go, Scored. Ooh, a free reward. Piece of candy. Piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. Alright, anywho's, back to opening our ancient shard. Here we go. Not a legendary. He's rare. His background is blue. Alright, so they're an attack character. She's an elf. Pretty cool aesthetic, I guess. Nah, her aesthetic is cheeks, man. Anywho's, Bullseye attacks one enemy, grants an extra turn if the target is killed. That's cool. Exhortation removes one random debuff from all allies, has 60% chance of placing a 15% increase buff on all allies for 2 turns. Ascended skill removes one random debuff on all allies, has 60% chance of placing a 30% increased speed on allies for 2 turns, so the speed goes up by double. Her aura is that she increases ally speed in dungeons by 16%. And then Avenger counterattacks the attacker when an ally is attacked. Wait, that's a really good spell. That's a really good spell. Wait, so does that mean she uses Bullseye and then like if she kills somebody from countering, she gets like attack again? I wonder. All right, well, I mean, she only has 2 abilities, which is like uncommon for a rare character. But I could see like her being like usable. Makes your team really fast. And she has a counter attack, which is really, honestly, really OP. All right, now let's open our Void Shard. Alrighty, we got this. Epic or legendary? Here we go. It's a rare character. Oh, but she's a Void character. Demon spawn. Her ratings are like 4 on average. Attacks one enemy. And then if she skill is ascended, attacks one enemy, decreases bomb debuff detonation countdowns by 1 turn. So she's a bomber. Attacks one enemy 2 times, places a counterattack buff on the champion for 2 turns. That's cool. Counterattacks OP. And then attacks one enemy, has 60% chance of placing a bomb debuff that detonates after 3 turns. Ah. So this spell combined with this is like pretty good. And then increases ally speed in arena battles by 16%. Okay. Not bad. Alright, so that's all of our shards, guys. So that will end the video. Thank you so much for watching. That is so crazy that I got a legendary from an ancient shard, guys. That is freaking amazing. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Body that like button, subscribe if you're new to help support me. Leave a comment down below what you think of this pull that we get. Where would you rate the legendary character and how freaking lucky it is to get it from an ancient shard. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see y'all tomorrow for the next video.